In today's video, we are making that money. If you're new to this series, I do commissions and give you guys tips at the same time. Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we're building a farm zone for GG's game, working our way up this volcano spiral. Now, it's not too often that I take full game commissions. It simply takes a lot of time, and I feel like if I'm building a full game, I could probably hire a programmer and make more then I would be getting paid for the commission. But times like this, I guess I would do anything for the right price. So far, we have built a desert boss, a beach boss, a jungle boss. We also made the spawn world and the first zone set. So now we're building the farm zone. Now we're gonna need quite a bit of unique assets in this zone. Definitely more than the last time. Those assets being a small planter, a large planter, plant rows, like crop rows, I think, a greenhouse, a farm shop, a barn, an apple, an orange, an egg stand, some sprinklers, some trees. Yes, guys, quite a bit. So let's just hop into Blender and get to work. This is definitely a bigger list than the previous zone, but hey, I'm pretty excited. To start everything off, the small planter will just be a squished cube with an inset top extruded down, and boom, maybe add a loop cut and some bevels, and we're good to go. The large planter is pretty much a copy and paste, but just scaling out the sides a little bit to make it bigger than the small one. For the plant rows, we're gonna stretch a cube and squish it down, then just add some bevels to give a nice half-cylinder shape. Pretty simple so far. I guess we'll bevel the edges too, just to make it curve off a little bit better. Now, for the greenhouse, I believe you're gonna be able to go inside it. So I'm gonna build that in Studio. I feel like modeling buildings in Blender, I feel like it's not always great. Collisions get messed up sometimes, and I'm sure there's a way to fix that, but I don't know how. So we're gonna build the greenhouse in Studio. Now on to the farm shop. The client sent me a reference photo, right? But I'm not really feeling that reference photo, so I'm gonna completely ignore it. I think I have a better idea. Now, I wouldn't really recommend doing this because you run the risk of your client hating it and then you wasted time. However, the photo they sent me and the shop that I want to do both would not take the most time, so if he doesn't like it, I have no problem redoing it. Anyways, the farm shop, I want to make it as a giant carrot, yeah, with like a little stall in the front of it. I just think that'd be cool, and it kind of plays more so to my style. Now, for the barn, I'm not sure if you're supposed to be able to go into it or not, so we're gonna build that one in Studio as well. Just one more thing that we can knock out of this Blender file. On to the apple and the orange. I've never really modeled fruits before, but an orange is a circle and an apple is also a circle, pretty much. So what I'm gonna do, bring in a UV sphere, use proportional editing, drag the top and bottom in, and now we have a nice apple shape. Then we'll use a cylinder with one extrusion or loop cut, however you want to look at it, for the stem, and then a little plane with a solidify modifier for the leaf. Pretty simple. Now we're going to copy the stem and the leaf and put it on a normal cylinder, or not a cylinder, a UV sphere, and there's an orange. Apple and orange, done, easy peasy. On to the egg. Same thing as the apple and the orange, except easier. You bring in a UV sphere, put on your proportional editing, drag the top vert up, and there you go. You have an egg. Now, for the egg stand in the beach world, I did an upside down bucket, and the client really liked that. So I was trying to think, what would a farm have that could be a cool thing for an egg stand? And I honestly found nothing, like genuinely nothing that wasn't a whole like table. So I decided to do sort of a square table with a crosshatch rope design and then a checkered cloth on the top of it. I just feel like it sort of fits the farm aesthetic. To do this cool crosshatch thing, all you have to do is subdivide it a couple times and then decimate and unsubdivide it once. And then it gives you a nice, I don't even know what it's called. X pattern, crosshatch, something like that. Now for the sprinkler, he referenced a cylinder, like a literal cylinder in Roblox Studio, so I didn't have many ideas. All I do know is he wants something tall out of the ground. So we'll start with the cylinder and extrude and scale the top till it ends up looking kind of cool. Maybe we can add some sprinkler particles later, or find someone who can. The last asset we need to make in this Blender file is a simple tree. Guys, we've done so many trees on this channel. It's like, it's just a tree. You grab a vert and you extrude said vert to multiple locations. Then you add a skin modifier, a subdivision surface modifier, and then a couple spheres for the leaves, and you're good to go. now that the asset pack is done, let's hop into Studio and get everything placed. To start everything off, I'm gonna do a little blockout with just parts, just to keep myself on track. Now that this is done and we have our assets, we can delete parts of the blockout and replace them with the actual assets. For example, these boxes are now small planters. And we'll do this as we work our way up the side of the volcano through this zone. The first and easiest thing to do in any of these, after we place the assets we made for the zone, is add our simulator border, of course adding in some variations. We have two different colors, one light green, one dark green. The bases are also lighter or darker. And then we have the trees as well, and really it's just a copy and paste from here on out. Now for the eggs, we're gonna just paste those through. We do have some cool particles on them, which I think just helps them stick out a little bit more and draws people's attention to them. And we're gonna copy some sand hills from previously, change the texture on them and make them a little bit darker to resemble more of a dirt. This just helps break the zones up as well and makes them look a lot better and a lot more complete. The last thing you really need to do for each zone is just draw, brush tool the X's on, and you're good to go. Building on this one is definitely a lot less intensive than the 3D modeling. However, in zone 2, we did the exact same thing, guys. Copy and pasted some borders, added some variation, got the eggs, got the leaderboard, got the plant rows, and then what? Guys, we get to build the greenhouse. This is gonna be super simple, couple parts, scale them out, put some glass, put some white pillars, everything's good to go. Now into the third zone. We need to place the large planters, the egg, a little board to sell game passes, and the barn. And once again, copy and paste some borders, rotate, scale, etc. We place some trees and some rocks in these zones as well, just to add in a little bit more variation. But that's pretty much it for these. Let's go ahead and hop in and take a walk around. Now this is pretty simple to build after you get the asset packs together, but it's really coming along. The more and more I build onto this map, the more I start to like it. It is hard to like something when it's just like one zone and then you have the base plate for every other zone, right? It's not too exciting. But now that we're starting to kind of shift around this volcano and to have more and more variations of assets, it's starting to look really, really good. Now the last thing I want to do in this video is hop into a call with the person commissioning me and see what they think about the game so far. This will be the spawn, the bosses, the first zone, and the second zone, and I just want to see if we're still on the same page. So, on to the Discord. All right, we are here with GG. I have sent over the map. What are your first thoughts on it, my guy?
So first impressions, very green.
Yes.
Which I think for, farm zone totally fits. But I've been looking at the beach for a couple of weeks. So I think that's a little bit of a shocker. So game functionality wise, looks like kind of everything's there. We've got the planter boxes with sprinklers and the greenhouse and the farm, or the barn, and like the little shop, plus all the normal eggs and stuff. So I think everything that need to like gameplay element wise is there.
Yeah, if you like this, we'll keep it, but if you don't, because it's kind of weird, we can definitely try a milk crate. I just thought of that.
Probably be good props anyway. So
for sure.
Or maybe like a wooden box. We don't use it here. We could probably use it in the city stuff with all the different ore refining and stuff.
Oh my gosh, the city is about to be nuts. Make sure y'all subscribe. The next episode on this is probably going to be the hardest zone, I would say. Or world. It's definitely going to be pretty packed with.
It looks empty now, but just wait.
Right, no more simulator borders in that zone.
Yeah, so yeah, I think farm looks good. The one thing I wanted to ask you about, as far as like gameplay stuff, was going to be the cooking. So I was thinking of like using the cart kind of as a shop for some of the early food before you get into the farm zone and start like growing your own food.
Gotcha.
But also was thinking about just allowing people to cook, from like a pop-up menu, as opposed to like having to come back to like this station or adding more stations in.
I would add more stations in, and you could sell like mobile cooking as a game pass. It's kind of like what Jailbreak does. They have like 2 or 3 garages around the map. Or you can buy a game pass called Mobile Garage and customize your car everywhere. Yeah,
so that might be something that we need to add to the list, is some type of prop for the cooking stations.
Gotcha.
Could just be like a barbecue grill or something like that. We could could reuse parts of the grill part. Awesome.
Sounds like a plan. Do you have any more ideas on anything to add into the farm zone or the beach zone? Or even the spawn?
No, I don't think so. I think everything that I was gonna need is gonna be here. So on the event thing for just like for beta launch, I was looking at probably gonna like copy this model and set it inside so there's like a closure for the tent.
Gotcha.
So I don't have to have that portal up right away. And I think everything else is there. I was just getting the X spawning working today and some of the egg buy stuff. So yeah, I think everything's there now. And
well, heck yeah.
With the farming stuff, I've got a lot to go now.
We are gonna have I would imagine before this city zone, we're gonna have to have one more call because it is I want to make sure I do it right because it's definitely gonna be the most assets, the most gameplay, I would imagine. Like it's gonna be quite crazy.
Yeah, it's got a lot going on, so it's gonna be a packed set of zones for sure.
So I'm excited for it. I just want to make sure I don't build it like 80 times. So we'll call before it, get a little game plan ran down. But you like how the map's coming out so far?
Yeah, I love it.
Awesome. Anyways, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. If you did enjoy and you wanted some more content like this, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day. Later.